Good morning students. Welcome you all to the next tutorial of revision. In this we are going to discuss about the basic concepts of all the three chapters, that is mixed syllabus we are discussing. So first I have written the definition of the pie graph, that is called pie chart. A pie graph is used to compare the parts of the whole. Means if you draw a circle, in this we are going to discuss about the different parts. A histogram is a bar graph. A histogram is a bar graph that shows data in intervals. Intervals means the data that is given to you is in the form of the intervals, and that you will plot on your x-axis, and different bars you will draw on your x-axis that will be representing your y-axis. A line graph displays the data that changes continuously over the period of time. Line graph changes over the different period of time. Line graph is also known as linear graph. Next is your bar graph. Bar graph is used to show the comparison among the categories. Means different categories are given to you. These different categories don't have any relation with one another. So different bars are drawn to show the comparison between the different categories. Now let's discuss one example. Example page number 245, example number 7 we are discussing. In this example you have to draw the graph that shows the relationship between the simple interest and the sum deposited. Sum deposited is also called principal. Rate is given to you, that is 10%. So we are using the formula here, simple interest is equal to PRT upon 100. You have to draw the graph between these two, simple interest and principal. So you will keep these two things same. Rate is given as 10% and we have fixed the time as 1 upon 100. Now cancel 1 0. We are left with simple interest is equal to P upon 10. Now actually we want to draw the graph. So for that you will need x-axis and y-axis. Now let's suppose this principal as x and simple interest as y, or you can take vice versa also. Now if you multiply this here, principal is equal to 10 times simple interest. This is your expression, or you can say equation, or you can say relation, as we have discussed in the last video also. So you will put different values for principal here, or you can put different values for simple interest here. But now we will put different values for principal. So for this you will draw one table, and in this table you will write different values for the principal. So writing principal and here simple interest you will get from this formula. If you put principal as 100 upon 10 will give you 10 rupees as simple interest. If you put principal as 200, so this will give you 200 upon 10. 0 will cancel out, then the simple interest is 20. If you put principal as 300, then simple interest will be 30. Now you will plot all these values on your x-axis as well as on y-axis. Now I have drawn the first quadrant that shows the positive values of x and y. This horizontal axis is called y-axis, vertical axis is called y-axis, and the point of intersection is called origin. Now plot this principal on your x-axis. You will write 100, leave one box, then 200, 300 and 400 and so on. Simple interest is given as 10, 20, 30. So you will write the details. Simple interest is in rupees and principal is also in rupees, that you will write here. Principal is also known as sum deposited. Now your coordinate will become 100, 10. Next is 200, 20. Then 300, 30. 100, 10. That is your first quadrant. Then coordinate. Then second coordinate. Then third. Now join all these points. You will get a straight line. This is called your linear graph. One more thing is pending. You will write scale for x-axis. X-axis you have one box is equal to gap is of 100. All the numbers are having equal gap, so no need to put the king here. That will be your 100 rupees. And for y-axis, that represents your simple interest and the gap is of 10 rupees. So you will write one box is equal to 10 rupees. And previously we have written simple interest is equal to P upon 10. That is known as your equation, relation or expression for this. Now the next question is to factorize this m raised to power 4 minus 256. Now, as I have already told you, whenever power 4 is given, you have to break it up in the form of 2 into 2. Now, this is your a square and this is your b square. This is your a and this is your b. A square minus b square is a minus b, a plus b. And you will write the formula in the bracket. A square minus b square is a plus b and a minus b. That we have already written here. Now, as you can see that in this term we can also apply the same formula. Now, write it in the form of whole square. This is m square minus 4 square. This is again a square minus b square. And this term you will write same because we don't have any other formula that involve a square plus b square. So, that will be kept same. Apply the formula here. This is your a minus b, a plus b and the last term is same. So these are the three factors for your given question. Next question is you have to write the GCF, greatest common factor of all these three numbers. So the greatest common factor is the number that will divide all the three numbers and there will be no number which will divide these three numbers. So the greatest number you have to find. So in this, as you can see that three numbers are given to you, and if you write 3 in the greatest common factor, but 3 will divide the first number and the last number, but this middle number is not divisible by 3. So we don't have any number that will divide all the three numbers 3, 10 and 6. So in the greatest common divisor, we don't have any number. So the greatest common divisor will contain only variables, that is x and y. This is your x square, x cube and x square. So the smallest of all these is x square. The lowest of all these power is x square. Now from y, this is y cube, y square and y square. The smallest of all these is y square. Z is given here in the last term, but Z is not there in the first two terms. So Z will not be the part of your GCF. So this is your greatest common divisor. We don't have any other number greater than this which will divide all the three numbers. So this is the greatest number that will divide all the three numbers. Next question is you have to factorize this. So the first method is you have to take common from all these three numbers. So 4 is there in all the three numbers. Take 4 common. A is the part of all the three numbers. Take A common. If you want to take minus common, you can, or you can do without taking minus common. Suppose I am taking minus common. After taking minus 4a common, in this we are left with only a. Minus we are taken here, so minus you will put in between the bracket, so minus minus will give you plus. 4a you have taken common, only b is left from the middle term, and from the last term 4a you have taken common with minus sign, so only c is pending with plus sign. So these are the two factors of this given question. And if you want to take only 4a common, this is the second method. If you want to take 4a common, you are left with minus a. From here, if you have taken 4a common, we are left with plus b. From here, 4a, you have taken common, we are left with only minus c. So in these two bracket, terms are same but the signs are different. So both are the ways you can go for any of the method. Now solve this question. In this you can see that terms are given in the form of fraction, or you can say rational number in the form of upon. So you have to take LCM. So the LCM of these two numbers 4 and 3 is 12. So 12 will be divided by 4, that will give you 3. So 3 will be multiplied with the numerator. I am writing this. 12 will be divided by 3. You will get 4 from here, and 4 you will write here with this term. Means quotient of these two will be multiplied with the numerator. Now on the right hand side, this number is given in the form of rational number, or you can say fraction. So you will again take LCM will be taken only when the terms are in the form of fraction or plus minus is there between the two terms. Now take LCM. 3 will be divided by 3, that is 1. 1 will be multiplied 2, that will give you 2. Here you will write 1. 3 will be divided by 1, that will give you 3. 3 into 3 will give you 3t. Now open the bracket by using distributive property. Multiply 3 with the first number, then with the second number. That will give you 9t minus 6. 4 2s are 8t plus minus minus 4 3s are 12 upon 12. This right hand side will be same. Now solve the like term. 9t minus 8t will give you t. Minus minus is plus and sign will be of the greatest, that is minus. Upon 12 is equal to 2 minus 3t upon t. Upon 3. Now cross multiply this. Yes, I am writing here. When you cross multiply this, you will get 3 multiplied by t minus 18 is equal to 3 multiplied with this number and 12 will be multiplied with this number, equal to 12 multiplied by 2 minus 3. Now open the bracket by again using distributive property. When you multiply this will give you 3t and 18 into 3 will give you 54 equal to 24 minus 36t. Now collect the like terms. This minus 36t, when you take it on the left hand side, the sign will change. 24 you have written on the right hand side, this minus 54. When take this to the right hand side, it will become plus. Add them, that will give you 78. This will give you 39t. Now 39 is multiplied with t. When you shift this 39 on the right hand side, that will divide. 78 upon 39, that will give you 2. So the value of t is your 2. And this 2 is called the root of the equation, or you can say solution of the equation. So your answer is t equal to 2 is the solution or root of the given equation. Yes, one more thing I want to tell you. Whenever the expression contain equal sign, that is called equation. Actually, if it doesn't involve equality sign, then it will be your expression. Whenever equality sign is there, the expression will become your equation. So this is your equation and the answer 2 is your solution of the equation, or you can say root of the equation. Next question is m minus 1 upon 2. Here 1 minus m minus 2 upon 3. So one important concept here I am telling you. As you can see that these two terms are in the form of numerator upon denominator, but in the numerator you are having two terms, so it's compulsory to put the bracket here, otherwise you may make some mistake. So in the same manner on the right hand side you have to put the bracket in the numerator to avoid mistake. Now here the denominator is 1 and in this the denominator is 2. Take LCM of 1 and 2, that will give you 2. 2 will be divided by 1, that will give you 2, and 2 will be multiplied in the numerator, that is 2m. 2 and 2, when you divide this, you will get 1. 1 will be multiplied this, so this will be the same. In the same manner, 1 upon 1. So the LCM of 1 and 3 is your 3. 3 will be divided by 1, that will give you 3. 3 ones are 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 will be multiplied with this number. So this will be same inside the bracket, because when you multiply any number with 1, there will be no change. Same number you will be getting as answer. Open the bracket. As you can see that in front of this bracket you have negative sign. So the sign of this bracket must be changed. So 2m minus minus plus 1 upon 2. Open the bracket and change the sign because minus is here in front of this bracket. 3 minus m minus plus 2 upon 3. Now collect the like terms. 2m minus n will give you m plus 1 upon 2. Here 3 plus 2 is 5, because in front of this 3 you have plus sign. Plus will give you plus. When you add these two terms, you will get 5, and minus m is same upon 3. Now both the terms are in the form of numerator upon denominator here also. So you will cross multiply this as we have done in the previous question. Now cross multiply this. 3 multiplied with m plus 1 equal to 2 multiplied with 5 minus m. Now open the bracket by using again distributive property. Multiply 3 with m, that will give you 3m plus 3 equal to 2 5s are 10. 2 into m will give you 2m. Now collect the like terms. 3m, this minus 2m value, when you shift this on the left hand side, it will become 2m plus 2m. 10 is there on the right hand side. This plus 3, when you shift on the right hand side, it will become minus 3. That will give you 7, and from here you will get 5m. 5 and m are multiplying. When you shift this 5 on the right hand side, it will become divided. So 7 will be divided by 5. So the answer of this question is m is equal to 7 by 5. This 7 by 5 is the solution, or you can say root of the equation. Why it is called the solution or the root of the equation? Because when you put this value 7 by 5 in the left hand side and on the right hand side, you will definitely get the same answer. That means this is the solution of the question, or you can say root of the question. With this beta, we have discussed the mixed question of the chapter, and if you will have any doubt, you can ask me in your next class. Okay beta, see you in the next class.